Hi, wellness community. It is not Wednesday today. It is Friday. I definitely missed my Wednesday mark this week, just dealing with quite a number of crises that have occurred. However, I'm back and I wanted to talk a little bit about trauma today. So for most of you who follow me or who know me, you know that the area of expertise that I mostly work with is trauma. And on very different levels, but today I want to specifically talk about intergenerational trauma or multigenerational trauma. So multigenerational, intergenerational trauma is talking about how trauma can be passed down through generations. And this can be through learned behavior. This can happen through discipline. This can happen through explicit or implicit norms around what's acceptable and what's unacceptable in a household, as well as specifically the forms of, I see it a lot with parenting, so the forms of parenting, and so what's accepting around abuse, for example. I can give you an example, which is, for example, using a belt to punish your child. So this idea to tell your child to go and get and pick their belt, kind of their choice of weapon to get beat with. That is a story I have heard multiple times, and it has been passed down between generations. And so clearly there are many cultures and families who believe that this is acceptable behavior. They've done it for as long as they remember. They have seen the effectiveness of the quick response to stopping a behavior. However, this norm creates the precedence that it's, number one, okay to beat your child with a belt. Number two, that there are no detrimental effects for that behavior. Number three, the discipline was effective. And so there's a lot of results that can inadvertently come from that kind of choice to discipline, that we don't actually fully understand that there are mental and emotional impacts, and that as it gets passed down, the idea that abuse is fully acceptable. Whether that's a choice that you believe is acceptable or not, there is very much an impact on the psyche, and there is an impact on the way that they will now interact with their own children, in their relationship with others, as well as interpersonal and relational connections. So one of the interesting things that occurs is that a parent-child relationship and how abuse shows up between that dyad or even triad with multiple family members and the child directly does impact the attachment, which then directly impacts the individual's ability to attach to a partner. And so if an abuse occurs between a parent and child, or abuse occurs between the parents and is witnessed by the child, there are acceptable norms now that have been conditioned into the child's mind. From that, those patterns can generally repeat themselves between they and the other person that this individual now chooses a partner, and then in the future when they have children and how they pass it down. And so the cycle of violence and the cycle of trauma then continues. And so to break that cycle requires our own self-awareness, treatment, and willingness to confront our own fears and childhood upbringing. And so one of the things which is very challenging for all of us, including myself. And so there are many, many ways that we choose to avoid, justify, pretend isn't occurring, say that it's other people, deflecting. And our defenses are very strong, particularly in the realms of trauma. We have developed a lot of survival defenses that have been used historically to protect us. And even at a point in which we may have found safety in a relationship or connection in a relationship or even a healthy relationship, our defenses can still continue to get in the way of our ability to heal and our ability to break down traumatic cycles of abuse. And so if you want to learn more, talk more, I will talk more about trauma in future videos as well. Thanks so much for watching.